All right, so you know how much we love diving deep into your questions, and well, this one is short, but man, does it pack a punch.
Yeah, definitely.
Should I just leave?
Whoa.
Like, talk about a cliffhanger, right? No context, no details, just straight to the heart of the matter. Makes you wonder what's going on behind that question.
Absolutely. And it sort of hits on a pretty universal experience. I mean, we've all felt that feeling at some point, haven't we? That kind of like that point where you're just stuck.
Oh yeah, totally
Maybe I
stuck, like
guess it-
spinning your wheels, going nowhere, but not quite sure what direction to go in instead.
Exactly. And it's interesting because there's this sort of this tension, I guess, between wanting stability on the one hand and then needing to grow and change on the other.
Huh. It's like you're pulled in two different directions at the same time.
Yeah, and sometimes, those two forces, they kind of clash, and that's when we start to question if where we are, if it's really the right place for us. Psychologists even have a term for it. It's called approach avoidance conflict.
Approach avoidance conflict. I like that. So it's like on one side, you've got the comfort of what you know,
Right.
right? The familiar, the routine. And on the other side, there's this pull towards something new, something potentially better.
Right, and that pull can come from all sorts of places. Maybe you're feeling like unfulfilled at work or in your relationships. Maybe you're just craving a change of scenery.
Or maybe you just won the lottery and you're ready to ditch everything and live on a tropical island.
Uh-huh. Oh, well, that's one way to solve the dilemma, but yeah, it's that internal struggle,
Yeah.
trying to figure out what you really want and need. And often that's what leads to that question, should I just leave?
Okay, so let's say you're feeling this way about your job. Like every Sunday night, you're already dreading Monday morning. What are some signs that maybe it really is time to start looking for the exit?
Well, one of the biggest red flags is just chronic dissatisfaction. Like if you're constantly dreading going to work, if you're feeling uninspired by what you're doing or just kind of stuck in a rut, those are definitely signs to pay attention to.
Yeah, makes sense. But it's not just about the work itself, right? I mean, what about the people you work with or the overall environment?
Absolutely. A toxic work environment can be a huge drain, even if you love what you do. So if you're dealing with a lot of negativity or if you're feeling unsupported or undervalued, those are all valid reasons to think about making a change.
So then how do you weigh that, right? How do you balance the potential benefits of leaving with the comfort of staying put? I mean, it's not always an easy decision to just pack up and go.
No, definitely not. And it's easy to get stuck in this kind of this loop of analyzing everything right, weighing the pros and cons endlessly without actually making a move. Sometimes it helps to kind of reframe the question.
Okay, so instead of should I leave,
Mm.
you're saying ask yourself.
Ask yourself, what am I missing out on by staying?
I see. It's like flipping the script,
Yeah.
shifting the focus to what you could gain instead of just what you might lose.
Exactly. And that can sometimes give you a whole new perspective.
Now, we talk a lot about work, but this feeling of should I just leave can pop up in our personal lives too, especially when it comes to relationships.
Yeah, relationships are tricky. There's no magic formula or easy answer. But there are some definite warning signs to watch out for. Like if you're feeling constantly unhappy or unappreciated in a relationship, or if there's a lack of respect or trust, those are pretty serious red flags.
Yeah, those are big ones. But sometimes it's not even about anything being wrong per se. Sometimes it's more like you're just growing in different directions.
Right. Personal growth is so important, and sometimes those paths diverge within a relationship. And staying together just out of habit or fear of being alone can end up hurting both people in the long run.
It sounds like tuning into those feelings of unease, whether it's at work or in a relationship. That's the first step. But then how do you actually make that decision to leave? How do you know when it's the right time?
It's a really personal decision, no doubt about that. It often comes down to a gut feeling mixed with a bit of logical thinking. So, like, weigh the pros and cons, think about your values and long-term goals, and don't be afraid to talk to someone you trust about it. A friend, a mentor, someone who can offer an outside perspective.
So it's more about making a thoughtful choice than just reacting impulsively.
Right, exactly. It's about taking control of your life and making decisions that are truly right for you.
We've talked about leaving jobs and leaving relationships, but what about leaving a place? What might make someone ask, should I just leave? When it comes to their city or even their country.
Sometimes it's just that wanderlust,
Yeah.
that desire to experience new things, to step outside your comfort zone. It could be a yearning for adventure, or maybe just feeling like you've outgrown your current surroundings.
Yeah, I can relate to that. And then sometimes it's more practical, right? Like maybe you need to move for a job or you want to live somewhere with a lower cost of living.
Definitely practical considerations are a big part of it. And while leaving a place can be scary. It can also be an incredible opportunity for growth and new experiences.
So whether it's a job, a relationship, or a place, it sounds like asking, should I just leave, is a sign that something needs to change.
It's a really pivotal moment, a point where you're contemplating a shift in direction. And it really speaks to our human need for growth and self-discovery.
It's interesting because even without knowing the specifics of the situation,
Mhm.
just the act of asking that question shows that you're willing to reflect on where you are and consider different possibilities.
And sometimes that's the most important step, just being open to exploring different options. Even if you don't have all the answers right away, just starting to ask those questions can lead you down a path of growth and self-awareness.
It's been a fascinating dive today. So much to think about, even from one tiny question. Hopefully, this has given everyone out there some food for thought and maybe even a new perspective on those times when you find yourself asking, should I just leave?
It's a question we all face at some point in our lives, and taking the time to really consider it, well, that's how we grow, and that's how we create a life that truly feels right for us.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's all the time we have for today, but keep those questions coming because you never know where they might lead us. Until next time, happy exploring, everyone.